Tātou.
Mr.
Call
Speaker.
Denise Roach.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker. Ki ngā tangata o Ngāti Manuhiri, te rā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. It's my privilege to speak on behalf of the Green Party and on behalf particularly of our co-leader, Manuhiri Ture, who is a member of the Select Committee that has been hearing the progress of this bill. The Green Party has in the past supported treaty settlement bills because we believe that the work of the kuia and kaumātua in bringing the settlements to this stage should be respected. Sometimes we've been able to negotiate changes to the settlements in favour of iwi and hapu. Most of the time, the Crown refuses to entertain any notion of genuine change to address iwi and hapu concerns. It is therefore rarely an easy vote to cast, as we have some serious objections to the settlement process, particularly as it has descended more and more into deals rather than genuine restitution from the Crown to Māori for the losses that you have suffered. We do not believe that these settlements are full and final. We think they are deals done today according to today's constraints, and that the issues will be revisited again in the future. And we are seeing this more and more, and we just have to look at the issues around why, as an example. We acknowledge the huge losses Ngāti Manuhiri have suffered at the hands of the Crown, and we do not detract from that. But we must always state the failings of the Crown and our contributions to these debates. We must remind the Crown that they continue to exercise undue power of the process to the detriment of iwi and hapu. We refuse to simply rubber stamp these bills. Earlier in the year, the Greens abstained on the first reading of this bill for the first time in our history. Our vote will not change despite the work of the Select Committee, and I acknowledge the Chair, Mr. Henare, and I acknowledge the members of the Select Committee who have worked very hard on this, and the Minister, and I also acknowledge all the submitters and all their work. During the Select Committee hearings, we heard very concerning reports about mandate, conflicts of interest, and perhaps unsurprisingly, some disregard for the Minister of the issues of Ngāti Wai over the settlement. A major argument of the Moko Trust, the mandated negotiating body in support of this settlement, was that Ngāti Wai had supported it. They relied heavily on the decisions of the Ngāti Wai Trust Board. However, there was serious conflict of interest issues that were not resolved to our satisfaction. Two issues of concern involved the people involved in the two bodies. One very serious issue was the mandate of the Ngāti Wai Trust Board to support the bill. One person held the position of both the chair of the Ngāti Wai Trust Board and the Moko Trust. In addition, Wayne Peters was the legal advisor to both the Trust Board and the Trust. We specifically asked during the hearings whether the conflict of interest issues were advised to the members, recorded, or otherwise managed in any way. We were told no. We were told there were no conflict issues, even where these had been raised by some Ngāti Wai. During the process of the Select Committee, a properly held special general meeting of the Ngāti Wai Trust Board was called. At that SGM, the members overwhelmingly voted to oppose the settlement bill. The Trust Board considered that decision, but as they were not required under their trustee to adhere to that decision, they retained their previous position of support for the bill. It appears that this was lawful, but in our view, it remains ethically questionable because of the serious conflict of interest issues that arose from having two people playing key roles in both organisations. As a result of both the actions of the Trust Board in response to the special general meeting and the failure to properly sort the conflict issues, we do not believe that there is significant support in Ngāti Wai for the bill. We concede the Trust Board supports it, but not the people who are most affected by the provisions of the bill. Therefore, we cannot rely on the Moko Trust assertions that they have Ngāti Wai support for this settlement. We acknowledge that the bill has been amended to state that the provisions do not prevent future settlements from providing co-governance arrangements for other iwi in the future. This change is not sufficient to alter our vote. We remain very sceptical of the Crown's intentions with this legislation to hand over Hauturu to Ngāti Manuhiri ownership for 7 days before it is returned to Crown ownership minus 1.2 hectares set aside for Ngāti Manuhiri use. We think that this is an example of giving with one hand and taking with another. And we can see that this type of mechanism might well be used by the Minister in future settlements concerning Hauturu. Ultimately, the box is ticked, but the substance of the deal remains with the Crown. The Crown give up practically nothing. This is not restitution. We consider this type of gift to be a Crown insult to those whose land was taken without their consent, those who were forcibly removed from their land. We believe that the Crown dishonours itself with this deal. We understand that Ngāti Manuhiri people have pursued this settlement as best as possible in the current circumstances. We acknowledge that. We wish them well. We wish them all the best in their pursuit of their rangatiratanga at this time.
The Honourable Tau Henry.
Kia ora, Mr. Speaker. I won't take too much